Here is the starting lineup for Houston. Featherweight Julia Gallegos. Featherweight Kenneth Taylor. Lightweight Jaden Alpo. Welterweight Elijah Williams. Welterweight Josue Sosa Mendez. Middleweight Corey Cad. Light heavyweight Devin Thorne. Heavyweight Carlos Frometa. Featherweight Jainesa Morandin. For the Golden Gloves champion welterweight Manuel the Venezuelan Monster Sangruni. Super lightweight Natalia Denise. Light heavyweight Darren Issam. Cruiserweight David Stevens. And heavyweight Amaria Lewis. That is the starting lineup for the Houston Hitmen. And now, ladies and gentlemen, presenting the Phoenix Fury.
Hey, Sonny, man, let them know what it is.
Hey, my boy. When I hear the blend in.
Here come the 2-2 Phoenix Fury, trying to build off a 23-13 win over Los Angeles back on May the 24th. And you mentioned it, Dave, earlier here in week 11 after the performance we saw from LA. That win over Los Angeles by Phoenix looks better and better on paper.
Yeah, especially after LA came out and obtained a 20-0 lead en route to a record-setting 30 points against Dallas. So the fighters in the league take note, they make comparisons.
The Phoenix Fury, Sonny Gutierrez and Joe Guzman. Here is the starting lineup for Phoenix. Featherweight Brenda Hernandez Cardenas. Featherweight Alejandro Meriano. Lightweight James Pierce. Welterweight Demarius Watson. Welterweight Judah Israel. Middleweight Jordan Barrera. Super middleweight Sebastian Duran. Heavyweight Cesar Navarro. Featherweight Tierra Brent. Lightweight Joaquim Camberos. Super lightweight Rebecca Irwin. 2025 TBL Most Valuable Fighter. Light heavyweight Raiko Encorojo Santana. Cruiserweight Charles CP the Champ Pugh. And heavyweight Manuel Villalobos. And now, ladies and gentlemen, we ask that you all please rise if you're able to as we honor America with the singing of our national anthem, being sung tonight by esteemed vocalist Shamia Crawford.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we held at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Shamia Crawford with the singing of our national anthem. And now, ladies and gentlemen, it is time to begin the launch rounds between the Phoenix Fury and the Houston Hitmen. We begin the launch rounds. Round number 1 will begin at featherweight. For Houston, Julie Gallegos. Phoenix, Brenda Hernandez Cardenas.
And we're about to begin the launch rounds, about to begin the Team Boxing League career for Julie Gallegos. 19-year-old featherweight out of Las Vegas, competing here for the Houston Hitmen as we are underway in Atlanta, closing out week 11 in TBL, Phoenix and Houston. Glad to have you alongside with us for this action. With Dave Bontempo and Amelia Moore, I'm Justin Shackle. You have Gallegos in the white fight kit and Brenda Cardenas, the 30-year-old pressure fighter, in the maroon fight kit for Phoenix.
Always interesting to see how a fighter in the debut comes out, and it's a little bit measured here for Gallegos, and you expect it to become aggressive at some point. She has 2 wins outside TBL, one of them being a TKO, so the aggression is there, and the question is, will she be comfortable with this style?
Gallegos, Mexican-American heritage. And we're told that she fights the Mexican style of boxing. We're seeing it. She's up close in Cardenas' grill, and she's not holding anything back with her punches.
Yeah, and the terrific body punching also associated with many Mexican fighters. They just have had a staple of that through the years. So what it does is it puts both fighters in front of each other, and it could be bombs away.
Now Cardenas giving Gallegos something to eat here, shoving her right hand right in her face. That was probably the best punch of the round.
Yeah, with her opponent right in front of her, that works out well for Cardenas, who is probably happy she's not seeing the same southpaw style she saw last time with Lizette Lopez. She's got a righty, and it looks like it's brought out better work for her.
Cardenas is 2-4 on the season so far, and she is one of a number of Phoenix Fury fighters that just got out to a slow start in 2026. They have not been able to replicate the success they had as a playoff team in 2025. And here comes Gallegos putting together a quality combo with about 35 seconds to go in the round.
And she gave herself a little bit of room and then was able to tee off. So that was one of the first different things she did in the round to give herself an opportunity.
Right hand from Cardenas, comes back with a left. And how about this, Dave? This will be the first and only round for Cardenas tonight, but Gallegos at the moment scheduled to fight in the 24th round against Tierra Brent. So there is a whole lot of confidence being put into this 19-year-old.
I love when coaches do this early enough in the campaign that they try to build some confidence and some mettle with their fighters. Basically, you're saying we may need you at some point in the playoffs in a round 24. Get a taste of it now. I had some good moments in here for both, and here was Cardenas with the swarming attack. Again, I mentioned she's not in against the lefty, so that helped her here. And then Gallegos, this was her best moments as she gave herself a little bit of distance, and then the uppercut pumped in there, and she did some very good work. That, of course, is a slip. So Gallegos has something to build on, and let's see how the judges rule.
TBL fans, the winner of round 1 by way of split decision. From Houston, Julia Gallegos. Round 2 at featherweight, Houston, Kenneth Taylor. Phoenix, Alejandro Mediano.
So Gallegos wins her TBL debut. Here's a second straight fighter making his TBL debut tonight. That's Kenneth Taylor on your screen. There you see Alejandro Mediano. Entered the league late last season. In for 2 rounds tonight, 2-4 so far in his TBL career. But Kenneth Taylor, 35 years young, out of Tyler, Texas. He's gone 15-6-2 in traditional boxing, 6 knockouts. He's also been stopped twice as well, Dave.
Yeah, he'll give you the risk, and he'll come up big, or he might get caught. But that's nice if you're watching it. And he'll be competing against the southpaw style here, which he's familiar with. Opens up the lead right hand, and you try to get your double left hook in there. Watch your lead foot, try to keep it outside, and try to do that at fast speed. Mediano, in his losses to Sean Brewer last time, got hit with a good number of body shots, turning the tide against him.
These are 2 wiry featherweights here in the second round.
Yeah, Taylor is comfortable as far as his poise is concerned, and what he's going to pick up on is the pacing, as he would like to be more active and will need to be.
Not a whole lot has landed between the 2 fighters. Taylor's been in the ring with some fringe title contenders like Miguel Flores, Edward Vasquez.
And when you're new to this, what's different than a longer fight, say if you're Taylor, is every time you break, you have to say, I need to do something now. If it's a longer fight, you're in that mentality, well, I can work on something and maybe develop it. No, you now have to develop it right away. And that is the urgency you have to find.
.30 seconds remaining in the second round. Mediano missing with that step-through jab.
Will not really be an easy one at this point for the judges, because there's also been a low connect rate with the fighters.
Right hand sneaks through for Mediano. But you said it, Dave, not a whole lot landing in that round.
It's just a matter of who the judges thought was more effective. Yeah, good learning experience for Kenneth Taylor. We suspect that when we see him again, he'll react to the pacing.
Fans, the winner of round 2 by way of unanimous decision. From the Phoenix Fury, Alejandro Mediano. Round 3 at lightweight, Houston, Jaden Alpo. Phoenix, James Pierce.
Jaden Alpo and James Pierce getting ready to tangle 135-pounders in their first round of action tonight. They'll both be in 2 rounds against different opponents. So we'll see Alpo in round 20, Pierce in round 18. Also for Phoenix, we're going to see Rebecca Irvin make her TBL debut. Irwin will be fighting in round 12. She's standing by with Amelia Moore.
New face to the Phoenix Fury, Rebecca Irvin. So Not a new face, though, to the combat world. You're actually a 3-time youth world champion for Muay Thai. What kind of made you decide to step into the boxing ring?
I just want to get a different experience, you know, start trying to get better with my hands because I'm doing MMA now also. So I think it'd be really good for me.
It's absolutely amazing. So I always tell people when they try to compare combat sports, it's kind of like NASCAR and Formula One, both go vroom, not the same sport. What do you feel are your adjustments that you're trying to make stepping into today as boxing goes?
Definitely not kicking as much, more volume for sure, a little bit of head movement, you know, being a little looser with my strikes.
I love that answer. Well, we are very excited to see you do your thing here coming up pretty soon, and stay focused.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
Justin, Dave?
Yeah, Rebecca Irwin in action against Natalia Denise in round 12. So she has fought internationally across multiple disciplines, and here she comes into Team Boxing League.
Like many fighters, seeing a great new platform, and she's already got the rules down. She understands the kicking.
Yeah.
So. Yeah, Alpo has at times stood up and been a leader for Houston. We've seen him get knockdowns in other fights. We've seen him get a split with Malik Lark, who is one of the better fighters in this league and who's having a great year. So Alpo on a given night can get to a high level.
Right hand comes through from Jaden Alpo. Just 19 years of age, 4-5 to start his TBL career. He's had some wins over notable names, especially among the Texas squads. Malik Lark, Jack Sambiaku, Francis Saya.
And he's got a comfortable matchup against James Pierce, who basically has done his better work as a counterpuncher, and we've seen him try to do that here. So and this will go down to the wire. Let's see if anybody lands the big convincing shot.
Pierce, 34 years of age, so you have a 34-year-old in there with a 19-year-old. He started his pro journey pretty late in life, so he's being matched up against a lot of younger fighters in traditional boxing who may have not developed that man strength that someone like Pierce possesses. But Alpo standing tall right with him in that round.
Some of the highlights from that round is Pierce is stalking and the jabs from Alpo get in. Pierce doing some good work, and then Alpo with the body shots. Question for the judges is, do they feel that Pierce was more aggressive enough than in his previous fights, or did Alpo set the stage outside?
The winner of round 3 by way of split decision from the Phoenix Fury, James Pierce. The score: Phoenix 2, Houston 1. Round 4 at welterweight, Houston, Elijah Williams. Phoenix, Demarius Watson.
Two fighters in their early 20s getting in the ring for round number 4 as Phoenix has taken a 2-1 lead, going for its second straight win. And Demarius Watson, 20-year-old fighter out of the Phoenix area. 2-0 so far after debuting on May 24th. Won both of his rounds against Los Angeles. Williams is making his 2026 debut. He's in the white trunks after entering the league last season. Went 1-2.
Lost to Cedeno. Henrik Cedeno in his last. As you take a look at some of the key numbers and stats for Demarius Watson, who looked pretty poised in those victories over Osvaldo Lopez in his debut.
Watson comes through with a left hook.
And already in 4 fights, we've seen 3 fighters who either tonight or just recently have held their own and looked pretty good in their TBL debuts.
Both young fighters investing in the jab. Trying to build off that.
And Watson just missing with his right hand, then tries from a different angle and just missed with that one, but very close. He's trying to do the job here of keeping Williams pocketed so he can launch with Williams in a corner.
There's a left hand that sneaks past the guard of Williams. So the connect rate over these first 4 rounds, Dave, not exactly too high between the two teams.
No, and we're seeing one reason why is where are these punches being launched from? Just a little bit outside the punching zone. So the second one gets in here. You need to be a little bit closer, probably jab your way in a little bit. Yeah, and what they're seeing sudden opportunity and they're leaping for it. So, you know, you can understand that. But you'll have to get in closer if you want the accuracy to go up.
Both fighters protecting the body well, keeping the elbows close to the torso, not exposing the liver area as they go downstairs, try to pump in some punches on each other. The jab from Watson, though, has stood out if you're going to try and find any piece of separation at the moment.
And also, even the left hands that have missed have forced Williams to reload. So they've been at least mildly purposeful.
They'll do it again in round 22. And here we go to the judges' scorecards in the 4th round.
All right, so there was the Williams left hand sneaking in. He gets caught in return, then resets. Watson has Williams here where he wants to, and this time he takes some advantage with Williams trying to counter to the body.
TBO fans, the winner of round 4 by way of unanimous decision. From the Phoenix Fury, Demarius Watson. The score, Phoenix 3, Houston 1.
So Demarius Watson picks up the round, picks up his 3rd win, now 3-0 in TBO play, and Phoenix is ahead 3-1 after 4 rounds. We're back with more here in the launch round phase. After 4 rounds, Phoenix on top 3-1 as we move on to round number 5. Let's go back ringside with Ray Flores.
Round 5 at welterweight for the Houston Hitmen, Josue Sosa Mendez, Phoenix Fury, Judah Israel.
So back-to-back matchups at welterweight, 147 pounds. Josue Mendez for Houston.
Yeah, he had a good outing against Javier Fernandez in his last outing. They both rocked each other with high-quality shots, and he was able to win and put his team up 12-10 at that spot. And Israel had to face newcomer Avahat Gordon in his last outing, and although he had some moments, Gordon had some surprising hand speed to meet him. So if you're Houston, you're looking at this as one where we would like to come out with this one kind of needed.
Israel looking for his first win. Mendez, meanwhile, 3-1. 2 straight rounds won for this 22-year-old. He's known for keeping good positioning in the ring. And a lot of the action so far has taken place in the center of the ring so far. Interesting how there's been a lot of symmetry through the first 4 rounds and change.
Yeah, the flow of opening up and taking gambles has not really been there. It's I throw one, you throw one, and let me make sure my positioning is right. But this is one fight where I think both fighters could be likely to open up. It's in their styles. And Mendez, off of his last one, that got rewarded for being more physical and more aggressive. And you would think that you come back, you try to build off of that.
Well, not only here, but also in traditional boxing. He just scored a first-round KO in his last fight. Was back on May 16th in his hometown of Miami, so only a few weeks removed from that.
All right, so now you have a double reward. It's you take the same thing and you bring it here.
Got in 1 round of action there.
A staple of Team Boxing League. And he has been aggressive here, coming out with good sense of pacing, getting shots off. And you see how Mendez is stalking, looking, stepping, and then firing. And it's subtle, Justin. As long as you're at least moving toward your opponent, something might open up.
Israel trying to keep him close. Mendez, wanting no part of it, unleashes a left hook upon coming out of the clinch. And Mendez continuing to create pressure for the 20-year-old southpaw.
And trying not to take unnecessary risk after what has been a strong round of boxing for him.
That was the first of 2 rounds between these two tonight. They'll be back at it in the middle rounds, round 13.
So here was Mendez throwing the jab, the left hook, the right hand, opening up, and he got hit with a couple in return. He had a good sense of positioning in the ring. Then the left hooks open up, and the last minute he was aggressive. So he was getting off first. Well, he'd be the one getting his hand raised.
The winner of round 5 by way of unanimous decision from the Phoenix Fury, Judah Israel. Round 6 at middleweight, Houston, Corey Cad, Phoenix, Jordana Barrera.
So Israel picks up his first TBL win, and Phoenix is ahead 4-1, and now Jordan Barrera is going to try and keep it going here in our round to watch. Barrera and Cad, a pair of middleweights in round 6.
And that's a nice development for Phoenix because Israel had an 0-6 mark, so that's a +1 for them here in their handicapping, and now one of their big boppers is in there.
Jordan Barrera in the maroon trunks, 14-7 with 3 KOs in Team Boxing League, 4-0 to start 2026. He's been one of the leaders at 160 pounds. Corey Cad searching for a spark here. He knows what it takes to win in the league. He just has not been able to put it through, put it together. He's lost 3 straight.
And we saw that in his last battle with Tracy Magruder. He was even for 2 minutes, right back and forth, and just could not put that final minute together to get over the top. So we see flashes of him being able to be a strong fighter, and he needs a wire-to-wire performance to get that. Now, on the other end, you've got Barrera with his 6-fight win streak, and we've seen the big right hooks from him. We've seen the left hands down the chute.
Got a long reach for a 160-pound fighter.
Even with that left hand being telegraphed, and we could see it coming all the way from the studio, he still got it in because he was just sharp enough to shield it with a long punch, that left hand.
Well, it might have rocked Cad into the ropes. They'll keep it going. Again, a 6'3" frame for Yordan Barrera. He can vary up that left hand. You see him addressing the body with it, but then coming back over the top with the left hand.
And Barrera has gotten away with something as the referee separates them, that, yeah, that long left hand is not following a jab, and sometimes he is still getting that in. If he could get that jab in first, he can get a little separation and a better opening for that big punch that he wants to throw.
There's a jab that comes through from Barrera.
He wants to plant that left hand. Scored knockdowns with it in his last fight.
Final 20. Referee's been having to get involved multiple times in this round.
Yeah, and there's one reason with the tying up. All right, to Barrera, I talked about the left hand. Here it comes. That one missed, but you know it's coming. A little far out. Again, now that one did graze the body. See how far out he's throwing these from. Had he been just a little bit closer, these land and connect for him. Nonetheless, he was aggressive with those.
Ladies and gentlemen, the winner of round 6 by way of unanimous decision, from the Phoenix Fury, Yordan Barrera. The score, Phoenix 5, Houston 1. Round 7 at super middleweight. For Houston, Devin Thorne. Phoenix, Sebastian Salman Duran.
So 5 straight rounds won by Phoenix. Yordan Barrera picks up his 5th straight round win. And here is Devin Thorne and Sebastian Duran, pair of super middleweights. Thorne won 2 rounds over Rafael Ngakwe in Houston's last event. Duran, meanwhile, 2-5 at the start of his TBL career.
And these guys both displayed power in their last fights, creating bonus points for their teams.
Amelia, who is we welcome in, 3rd member of our broadcast crew. When you see these two teams and you go up and down the bout sheet, you notice a lot of fresh, young talent with not a whole lot of TBL experience. What's the separator when you have novice against novice in this format?
Well, I feel like, you know, as we were able to be introduced to Rebecca Irwin, and then, and even so, Houston's Julie, is it Galagos? It's, some of these athletes have prior combat experience, and I think that that's really important to look at. Sometimes it transfers, sometimes it doesn't, and it always makes me nervous. I'm just like, what are we gonna get here today? But I always have a tendency to see that Sonny Gutierrez, Phoenix Fury coach, has a way of finding some really good athletes. You know, we look at Rahman Mohammed, Tierra Brandt pulled in, and these are all Muay Thai, and kickboxing champions that they were either in the youths or, in the pro circuit.
And in the meantime, here, that slugfest we talked about
getting good
is coming true. Both of these guys with knockdowns last time, and we're seeing the aggression that led to those moments for them. Great work on the inside.
Both looking for that precise uppercut, and Duran may have found it, follows it back up with a right hand. Sebastian Duran doing work in the corner on Devin Thorne.
Well, they're both swinging for the fences and connecting. Great offensive work here. And it has been Duran getting the better of that last exchange on the inside.
Oh, double up and up the uppercut. You don't want to get too greedy with that type of punch, though.
No, and you don't want to throw it from too far out where you can get countered. So he did throw it from inside. In the meantime, this is another one of those great jab optional fights.
Well, the right hand comes in again. Duran has had the more crisp punches in the 7th round. 28-year-old Mexican native. Already picking up a stoppage in his first TBL season. He's been battle tested early on in his TBL career. Faced veterans like Juan Barajas, like Ronald Ellis. Gone up against Diane DePestre.
Oh, this could be in the honor roll nominee department for a round of the night honor later, because they brought it all the way. Let's take a look at how they just engaged in their phone booth warfare. Call this the jab optional fight. The option was not taken. They did great work on the inside, then a nice right-hand combination started there by Duran. You load up, I load up.
Team Boxing League fans, the winner of round 7 by way of unanimous decision. From the Phoenix Fury, Sebastian Salomon Duran. The score, Phoenix 6, Houston 1. Round 8, our final launch round in the heavyweight division. Houston, Carlos Frometa. Phoenix, Cesar Navarro.
Heavyweights will close out the launch rounds, but 6 straight rounds have been won by Phoenix. As Duran picks up the win, the Fury up 6-1. Here is Cesar Navarro in the maroon trunks for Phoenix against Carlos Frometa. 4-2 to start his TBL career. And for Navarro, he's making his season debut here. He appeared in 3 fights last season. 26-year-old heavyweight out of Phoenix stands at 6'3". Both fighters, in fact, stand at 6'3".
Yeah, 2 losses to Kai Brooks. Has a lot of company in that department. Win over Adam Stewart.
Big whack with the right hook from Frometa.
And he has a split performance win over Nagy Aguilera. So on a given night, these fighters can both come up big. They can both show the power, too.
Frometa's got the clean shots in, at least at this point, about a minute into the final round of this launch round phase.
Operating nicely with the jabbing and the moving.
Be the first of 2 rounds between these 2 fighters tonight. Heavyweights going back to work in round 21 a little bit later on.
Navarro, meanwhile, investing in the body.
Going downstairs again with that left hand. Right hand caught the arm of Navarro.
Navarro willing to stand here and gamble with the big man right near. He's got to get underneath. He wants to get close, get inside the path of those big punches, and then try to do his best. Frometa looking light on his feet on the outside when he throws the jab.
Jab gets through from Frometa. He shakes off whatever Navarro is throwing here. All right. They both say, hey, we're open for business. Ooh, good dodging from Frometa. And you can appreciate this, Dave. 2 heavyweights going toe-to-toe. standing pretty much forehead to forehead, right in the center of the ring. They're not going anywhere for one another.
No. No quarter right in front of each other. We've seen a little bit of jabbing on the outside from Mete, and he's looked good when he's done that, but see another example of it here, and then it sets us up good work for him on the inside.
Navarro, both trading blows near the final seconds. The most entertaining round thus far, closing out the launch rounds, and we're going to see it again coming up in round 21 between these two.
And as furious as it got, they took the moment to acknowledge one another afterward, like, we did something special here. On the inside, good work with the body here, as that was Navarro on the left of your screen, doing some very good work. Excellent there on the inside. Then Navarro goes, what is that? Don't even tell me that's a body shot. So he's on his jab, and then he does some good work at the end of the round as he tries to leave an impression on the judges, and they both understood, don't let the other fighter get the last word.
TBL fans, the winner of round 8 by way of a split decision from the Phoenix Fury, Cesar Navarro.
All right, so Navarro
at the end of the launch round,
rewarded
Phoenix leads Houston 7-1
for the good work on the inside. So Phoenix has 7 in a row going, a great lead after the launch rounds. Houston won the first, it's been all Phoenix. What's coming up on TBL? Justin Shackle will give us a look.
Thanks so much, Dave. Plenty more action to come between the Hitmen and the Fury tonight. And then next weekend, Team Boxing League rolls into Week 12. Friday, June 12th, the Nashville Smash take on Ariel Davis in the Atlanta Attack. Saturday, it's a rematch of epic proportions. Third meeting of the season between the Boston Butchers and the Philadelphia Smoke. And then to cap off the weekend, the New York City Attitude travels south to take on Yotzgi Annapolis and the Miami Assassins. All the action can be seen right here next weekend on TBL, Team Boxing League.
Well, the Phoenix Fury making the most of those launch rounds. 6 consecutive rounds. Seven rounds won in a row by the Phoenix Fury. Don't want to discount them here. Justin and Dave with you back in our TBL studio. So a 7-1 lead for Phoenix. Houston wins the first round, but we continue to see some really big runs in Week 11. Phoenix is the latest.
Yes, after we saw a 10-point sweep in the launch rounds one night, we see an 11-point run the next night. Phoenix now getting on a 7-point run. And combining this with the way they finished against Los Angeles, this has been a very good run over 2 fights for them.
So after the first round of action, it's been all Phoenix as of late. Let's take a look at a couple of rounds that stood out the most in those launch rounds. Round number 5, Jose Mendez and Judah Israel, who was looking for his first TBL win. Well, Israel was able to get it here in a pretty close round.
It was, and welcome to Club W for Israel, because he does come in and he stays consistent, fights hard every time, and this time he gets the call.
And then in round number 7, Sebastian Duran, 168-pounder, able to find a landing spot for some quality blows.
Excellent performance by him on the inside, doing some good body work. And even though he took some shots coming back, these guys got right in front of each other. And Duran on the inside gets the call for Phoenix.
So Phoenix right now in the driver's seat, could turn very quickly. But as we take a look at the middle rounds to watch, I'm eyeing round number 15 because you have Charles Pugh, who was a mainstay last year for Phoenix. He has lost 4 straight. The Fury, as they try and make a playoff push, they're trying to get some of their bigger names going here.
Yeah, and he has faced increased competition all the way throughout. So with Charles Pugh, you know what you're going to get. You're straight ahead with him. It's a plodding, straight-ahead style. As the competition has gotten better, hey, he gets in some slumps, but he also got in some big hot streaks last year.
And he's going to be going up against David Stevens, who's off to a nice 3-1 start in his team boxing league career. So Phoenix is ahead, 7-1 at the moment. We'll go inside to the middle rounds, rather. Ray Flores has the introductions as we get going at 126 pounds.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's now time to begin the middle rounds between the Houston Hitmen and Phoenix Fury. Round 9 at featherweight, Houston, Janasia Morandin, Phoenix, Tierra Brent.
Well, we talked about Charles Pugh, who's lost 4 straight and is a 2-4 fighter at the moment after having a terrific 2025 season. You know, Phoenix kind of waiting on Tierra Brand to take off. Maybe not at the same level of success as a Charles Pugh, but Brand, especially down the stretch, she was a big player for Phoenix in 2025.
Yeah, we've seen her 1-7, then 8-7, and then 8-11. So the streaks have been there. Losses to Florencio Britos and Erica Sanchez. And she came in with some high marks last year. Her first fight in, gained a star. So, yeah, that potential is there for her.
And tonight she's in for 2 rounds, including the 24th. She's fighting Gallegos in that 24th round, who made her TBL debut tonight, and the only fighter who has a win for Houston at the moment. And here, Janasia Morandin, who's 1-7 in 2026.
And she had a rough time, as many fighters do, against Azariah Cottrell in her last, trying to get inside against a tall, rangy, powerful right-hand fighter. So she's coming straight ahead, trying to get inside and do some of her best work and overcome a little bit of a height and reach. So for Brandt, if this fighter keeps coming straight ahead, there is a shot for an uppercut, there's a shot for the right hands, and so much if she puts her jab out first.
Brandt is kind of in a launch pad position right now for any type of counter shot, because Morandin, like you mentioned, is just leaving herself wide open.
Well, she's coming in and gets nailed again, because there are different ways to go for broke. And she knows she has to get inside to overcome height and reach. Ideally, you'd like to do it the bob and weave way, gloves up on top, cover yourself, come in, try to glide. It takes a lot of work to get inside, not easy to do. And then if you don't do it, well, then you're in trouble.
Oh, nice, nice right uppercut that Morandin certainly did not see. It was disguised well.
You know, Brandt has the option to even think about a little bit more than 1 point in this, because it's going so well for her.
There she's able to combo it up. Usually it's been a single punch counter that has been effective and has landed accurately for Tierra Brandt. See if she can double up some more of those counter shots.
You get the close-up look at how hard it is for Morandine to reach Brandt and all the work that she has to do, and how Brandt is utilizing that height and reach.
Well, the combo's now flowing from Tierra Brandt as the round starts to wind down. A solid performance for Phoenix's 126-pounder. And Tierra Brandt could be on her way to snapping a 4-round skid.
Take a look at how height makes right. Good right hand gets in. Look at how composed she is on the outside. There's that uppercut we were calling for. It was sneaky. She didn't even need Morandine to walk into it. She scored it from a distance, and then the right hand gets in. So Brandt unleashing the arsenal.
The winner of round 9 by way of unanimous decision. From the Phoenix Fury, Tierra Brandt. Round 10 at featherweight, Houston, Kenneth Taylor. Phoenix, Alejandro Mediano.
8 straight rounds won by the Phoenix Fury. And it all began with this matchup in the second round. Alejandro Mediano picked off Kenneth Taylor, who was making his TBL debut. They're in for their second round of action right here in round 10. As Phoenix has built up an 8-1 lead over Houston.
And this is team versatility, because when they faced Los Angeles, it was all power that boosted them to that victory. And here it is single round by round, up and down, showing impressive team depth.
Counter-punching has been the early theme for Phoenix. Sebastian Durant notwithstanding. Everybody else has had a solid defensive game plan, and they've turned it into offense.
And that can become a team theme as you're in the corral, everybody talking it up, coaches saying, look how effective we are when we counter. Look at the opening we're seeing. One fighter can go up to another fighter who's going to be in action 2 or 3 fights from now and say, look, take a look. Here is something you can focus on.
Taylor had Mediano pinned in the corner. Didn't land too many punches that were effective. It's good shelling from Alejandro Mediano.
Nonetheless, it showed something that could be an opportunity for Taylor if he can be a little more accurate on the inside. He's got to get close enough to do his work. And with this style here, again, that lead right hand is out there for him. Has not been able to go to it too much, but it is there. And there he tries it. Now you look at Taylor and think, well, is he getting the most bang for his buck because he's moving a lot? He's moving back just a little bit further than he may like before he launches into his next attack. Here he's up close and he can do some better work. But when we've seen him circling, he's been back further.
And just like the second round, Dave, the connect rate just not all that high for these two fighters.
Shows everything about the need for positioning and setting up where you want to be so that that punch gets in. You see the opening for it, then you wonder, how did it not score? Well, you might have been a foot or two to the right or to the left than where you usually are, or back. So So they went at it last round, and there was some good opportunity here for Taylor. Some of his best work. Some got blocked, some got in. But that really represented his best chance in this particular matchup. Mediano outside.
TBL fans, the winner of round 10 by way of split decision from the Phoenix Fury, Alejandro Mediano. Round 11 at lightweight, Houston, Manuel Sangroni. Phoenix, Joaquin Camberos.
9 straight rounds won by Phoenix, up 9-1. As Mediano sweeps his 2 rounds over Kenneth Taylor.
So now we've got a story within the story, as we saw LA sweep the launch rounds against Dallas. We saw New York sweep the middle rounds against San Antonio. Could this be the 3rd team of the weekend to put 10 straight matches together? And it will be a good test because Sangroni has been one of Houston's best fighters. If it is going to happen, it will be against one of their blue chip performers.
9 straight rounds won. One of them was Demarius Watson, who picked up a win in round 4. He's standing by with Amelia.
Demo, you looked very strong in your debut 2 weeks ago against LA. What do you think some of those takeaways were that had you perform here tonight?
I feel like that performance was just it showed a little immaturity. Like I was just nervous. It's a 1-round platform. You go in there, you got to give it your all that first round. I looked a lot greater the 2nd round, and I looked a lot greater this 3rd round tonight against Houston.
I couldn't agree more. I did think you looked very strong, though, in LA. Something that I took away from this last round that you had, you listened to your corner incredibly. I mean, it was like push button. They said feint, you feinted. They said take your feet with you immediately. It was like you made the adjustments. Where does that come from? Like, do you have a relationship with these guys outside of just the team?
Honestly, if I'm being completely honest, I wasn't even hearing them. When I'm in there, I'm completely locked in. It just so happened that we clicked and I did exactly what they was thinking. I feel like a great fighter can execute without having a coach to give him instruction. But shout out to them. They're great coaches and they give me great instructions.
I mean, it's subliminal. That's incredible. I think I'm actually blown away by that. Well, thank you so much. We look forward to seeing you in your next round.
Of course. Let's go. I'm going to catch another dub, round 22. Let's go.
Justin?
That's right. It will be the 22nd round for Demarius Watson going up against Elijah Williams yet again. And his teammate, Joaquin Camberos, looking pretty strong here against Manuel Sangroni. About a minute left to go.
Yeah, some good straight right hands from distance that he's been able to do. And he's able to keep Sangroni a little bit at bay compared to other fights we've seen Sangroni in which he has swarmed. Hey, this is how you keep the swarming Sangroni away. Use the jab, use the reach, even goes to the body here. We've seen Sangroni move in a straight line often in recent fights, and Camberos has taken that element away.
In many ways, Camberos is like a praying mantis for this Phoenix Fury. He's using the reach that he has, and he really isn't extending the arms because he doesn't have to against the 5'5" Sangroni. And some of those uppercuts have caused a lot of punishment and a lot of blood to come out of the face of Sangroni.
You see, watching Sangroni, because he's got terrific heart, what it takes to get inside. Now he eats the uppercut because he has to sell out to get inside. There's no easy way for him here, and he shows a lot of heart to come in here, but stylistically it was tailor-made for Camberos. We'll see if the judges agree. See, here's where Sangroni can do his best work, swarming you on the inside and trying to make the inside his offense. But if you could stay outside, you make him work so much harder to get in.
TBL fans, the winner of round 11 by way of unanimous decision from the Phoenix Fury, Joaquin Camberos. Round 12 at super lightweight, Houston Natalia Denise. Phoenix Rebecca Irwin.
So how high can they go? Phoenix has won 10 straight rounds.
Well, they joined the honor roll for the weekend. They joined LA and they joined New York. It has really been something to watch these teams put together all of these victories. In this case, okay, you're Phoenix, you're doing it against a Houston team that was at the top of their game coming in. So this is good for them. And you know, Denise had a couple of wins last week. A lot of wide angle shots were coming at her, and she got a split decision. So this is what Irwin is coming in trying to do something against.
Irwin making her debut tonight in the league. A 5'8" fighter. Two tall women here at 140 pounds.
If she can keep her at bay, you know, use that jab. Also, the lead right hand is there for Irwin, and she just tried to use it. That style is setting up for her, and she's showing you smarts of knowing when to try to take her chance.
Left hand sneaks through from Irwin.
And we see some fighters come into this platform and it takes a major adjustment. But Irwin has been more composed than many in her first fight here in this format. We see her good balance and firing through with the jab, using her height and reach, and taking what the style gives her.
Connects with the left hook, and it bounces Denise back a little bit. I'm not just saying this because they're on the same team right here, Dave, but Rebecca Irwin, this style's sort of reminding me of when Tierra Brandt came onto the scene last year for Phoenix.
Yes, last summer she came out and made a big splash. So
she was a Muay Thai fighter, and she, in that first round, you could tell, you know, she had various combat sport disciplines in her toolbox, but then she quickly adapted to a full boxing style.
And that's not easy for many fighters. So what we're seeing here is impressive. What we saw from her last summer was impressive. We see many fighters come from other disciplines and they come swarming out because that is what succeeded in those ventures. Here you need that extra element, but Rebecca Irwin looks utterly poised in this one.
Oh, straight right hand comes through, and now they're battling it out. Now they're laying it all out as they heard the 10-second mark, and it closes up shop. But there were a couple of quality left hands that landed from Irwin, and a right hook near the end.
It's one of the best displays of just outright stylistic boxing we've seen by a newcomer in this league. And whether that's enough to give it to her, well, the judges will tell us, but she did well there, and then Denise fighting well off the ropes at the end.
TBL fans, the winner of round 12 by way of split decision. From Houston, Natalia Denise. The score, Phoenix 10, Houston 2.
So Natalia Denise joins Julie Gallegos in the win column for Houston. They stopped the streak, but they still trail big time. We'll be back after this.
I'm here with Brian Newman Jr. My gosh, you're a Georgia native, is that right?
Yes, ma'am.
What are you doing here tonight?
I mean, y'all in the city. I had to come up and pull in. You know what I'm saying? I had to show support to TBL.
I love that. It was one of your coaching staff, assistant coaches, part of the Houston team, or am I reading that wrong?
No, I got my guy Lamont and Nick over there working as well, so I made it just to show support on Houston.
I love it, you know, and that importance of kind of like definitely supporting the next generation. I feel like everyone always gains energy when they see big boxing stars come into the arena.
Yeah, no, that is a big thing, a big motivation. I remember seeing Terrence Crawford into the gym and other guys like that. Gervonta Davis, it's like world champions are right in front of me, so it's an amazing sight to see and give you a very big picture to go for.
Love it. Congratulations on your most recent win. And many, many more, my friend. And I appreciate you jumping on the mic with us.
I appreciate you. Thank you.
Justin?
Brian Norman Jr., former WBO welterweight champ in the house. Speaking of welterweights, time for round 13.
At welterweight, Houston, Josue Sosa Mendez. For Phoenix, Judah Israel.
Judah Israel picking up his first win of 2026 against Mendez. Back in round 5. Pretty entertaining bout between two youngsters at 140 pounds. Phoenix up 8, leading 10-2 as Houston came away with a victory in round 12.
So if you're Israel, you're trying to get a double. You're fortified by what you just did. Probably back to more of the same for him as he swarms here. And for Mendez, he's trying to be a little bit more effective, find room. Cutting off the ring was not enough in the first encounter. He had to mix more offense with that. So let's see if he's able to.
Israel, traditionally a southpaw, fighting in the orthodox stance to start this 13th round. Doesn't look like he has any rust from that side.
You know, and also, you see in the eyes a lot of urgency for him. He wants to get right out and be busy. You could see that the win did a lot for him tonight. His demeanor is confident. He's trying to get off first. Now you win one. Now all of a sudden you expect to win the next one.
Came through with that left hand that landed on Mendez.
I think for Mendez now is, are these shots really getting to me, or can I just come in and start doing that?
Now that right hand got to him. That is for sure.
If you see a fighter in the other style and you believe it's not his strongest suit, well, that's an invitation to come swarming, and we're seeing that now from Mendez.
There's another right hand, and Mendez coming through with some clean punches over the last minute or so.
Well, that one almost dropped him. Credit Israel to stay up.
There is another one, Dave. The right hand coming through completely unguarded.
And now it's target practice for him to see how quickly he gets right on top of Israel, because he senses opportunity here.
Well, the 20-year-old, he's wearing those right hands rather well. But Mendez has certainly picked up momentum in the second half of this round.
But you catch a groove, you make the adjustment, and halfway through this round, he scored with one of those shots, big right hand, and he wasn't impressed with what was coming back at him. So then he stormed, and that's when he did his best work.
And now Israel answering back. Had a good clean combo moments ago. So a round that started with Israel really asserting himself on offense. That's a pretty even round.
Yeah, it was Israel in the beginning, and then Mendez coming strong in the middle, and Israel at the end.
decision. From the Phoenix Fury, Judah Israel. Round 14 at light heavyweight, Houston, Darren Isom. Phoenix, Rico Santana.
Your Darren Isom, Rico Santana, one of the linchpins for this Phoenix Fury squad, who's now up by 10 as we begin round number 14.
Well, rack 'em up Rico, 23-3, 7-1 this year. And we started to see him make his run of the split with Jesse Hart, playoff season last year. Johan Martinez, Diane DePestre. So he's taken on some big fighters. He beat Angel Lozano in the last. So he has lived up to the billing at the end of last year.
And Darren Isom coming out very aggressive in the first 30 seconds. Keeping the hands busy, lost its balance moments ago, but I like what he did. He put out the jab to kind of keep himself guarded as he regained the footing. So, again, we're picking apart 45 seconds, but there are moments where he looks like he's aggressive, other moments where he looks like he's out of control, but he's handling himself here against Santana. And this isn't a fighter who has 2 wins over Amubola Oshundaira. So that's how he began his TBL tenure.
Yeah, and as we've seen the ascent of Oshundaira, that speaks well for Isom.
A 6'3" light heavyweight.
And we just mentioned Oshundaira. He's in the honor roll list. Santana right in the middle there. Hart and Martinez. That's a good loaded group of fighters. And so when you see 2 from inside the group, you know it's a real good matchup here.
Santana, 5 years older than Darren Isom, a New Orleans native. He's fought mostly across the South in traditional boxing. And here he's latched on with Houston.
And fighters that go on big runs, one of the things that they learn is how instinctively to just increase the pressure in the final minute of the fight. There comes a point where they say, go. This is when we win it, and this is when that extra gear is needed. And you have to be doing this enough to all of a sudden you feel that, and Santana has been one of those fighters.
Let's see what he does over the final 30 seconds of this round.
That was a sneaky uppercut that Isom got in.
Right hand from Santana, but it's been more of the same, clenching along the ropes. The referee with some parting words for Santana, telling him watch the holding, and
the rubbing with the glove
yep.
was also part of that. This was some of the best work that Santana was able to put together as he would get inside and that right hand snapping back the head of Isom. Isom had his moments too with the uppercuts and inside fighting.
TBL fans, the winner of round 14 by way of unanimous decision. From Phoenix, Rico Santana. Round 15 for the Houston Hitman, David Stevens. Phoenix Fury, Charles Pugh.
Round 15, our round to watch here in the middle rounds as Phoenix continues to open it up. Now leading 13-2 as Santana picks up the win. The 24th of his career here in TBL. And here, David Stevens and Charles Pugh.
David Stevens, a very good record in traditional boxing, 15-2-1. His last 3 opponents are 41-2. So he goes up against very good fighters. And here, Charles Pugh, even though he's lost 4, went on a run of 19 in a row over the course of last year. So, yeah, he's trying to find the magic he had then.
Last year's most resilient fighter, 38 years of age, a 22-5 career mark in TBL. But again, 2-4 this season. He's lost 4 straight. All that said, Pugh represents the most experienced and successful TBL opponent for David Stevens to date. And he talked about his traditional boxing resume. He'd been in the ring with a lot of world title contenders, and he fought Darius Fulgham to a majority draw back in the fall. That was his most recent match. So he's been making some headlines in traditional boxing as well.
And that was a 10-round fight. So now he comes in here and they say, okay, sprint against Charles Pugh. And it's a nice, interesting test for him.
Stevens, 26 years of age, out of Reading, PA. He's at 73-inch reach, but Pugh answers back with a chin turner of his own.
He got the Phoenix season kick-started last year in that second week against San Antonio. He won round 24 in a match that was up in the air until then. And both he and Phoenix rode all the way into the postseason from that moment.
When you look at this Phoenix team year to year, 2025, you can make an argument that they had one of the best trios going, with Pugh, Santana, and at welterweight with Rahman Muhammad. Fast forward this year, no Muhammad, and Pugh and Santana, they have shown cracks. They have not been as consistent.
Right, and year to year, new talent comes in. Hard to reach the level and maybe the magic that you had the year before. And that's all part of the beauty of how the league evolves and how you have to improve to keep your spot in it. Especially as we're seen by more people, more networks, etc. That means other fighters, other managers, other trainers saying, hey, let's join this.
Charles Pugh feeling pretty confident. Nothing but good wishes for David Stevens, and we'll see them do it again coming up in round 19.
So this was vintage Charles Pugh, comes straight ahead. Stevens would try to tie him up. That's how he tried to halt Pugh, and then he would land the left hand. That was a good right by Charles Pugh at the end of that exchange.
TBL fans, the winner of round 15 by way of split decision. From the Phoenix Fury, Charles Pugh. Our final middle round will be in the heavyweight division. Houston, Amari Lewis. Phoenix, Manuel Villalobos.
Amari Lewis, Manuel Villalobos. 2 heavyweights. Villalobos on your screen, 24-year-old out of El Paso.
Yeah, don't blink when Villalobos fights lately. He scored an uppercut knockout in his last fight. He also scored a big one against Phoenix, against Boston, that helped Phoenix come from way back. And Lewis, a while back, he came up with the victory in that final round that helped Houston defeat Dallas. So there you go in the honor roll, as he's in there with a pair of knockouts, has helped Villalobos get into there.
He's going to work early, using that jab to come forward against Lewis. It's interesting because he's throwing the jab with not a whole lot of conviction, just pretty much trying to close the distance, and there's obviously nothing behind it.
No, sometimes there's that snapping jab. Now remember, he scored a vicious knockout with an uppercut in his last. So you may be showing the jab just to walk in and get a spot, maybe thinking of a big punch that can get home.
Lewis with the jab to the body.
And if you're Lewis and you're going to fight this way, you need the lateral movement. It has to be purposeful, and you can't be here.
Villalobos getting a pair of right hands in there against Lewis. There's a soft touch as they try and get out of that clinch along the ropes. Again, nothing coming behind the double jab from Villalobos.
It's just to get him in position to do this. Now, there's nothing coming back at him from Lewis to stop him from just walking in. And now he's doing his best work in here.
That was probably the most connected combo from Villalobos after the jab.
Yeah, he's been thinking 4 points and knockout right from the start, because that's what he got last time, and he's trying to get there again.
Oh, he's rocking Lewis here, rights and lefts. A left hand landed flush on the chin of Amiri Lewis, and Villalobos now teeing off, getting that right hand behind the guard of Lewis, trying to fight back with 40 seconds to go in the round.
He was one punch away. Had there just been a little bit more on one of them, he was that close to a second straight knockout.
Oh, there's another right hand that smothers through. The right hand extremely accurate for Manuel Villalobos here in round 16. Phoenix is pulled away. They're up 14-2. And now Villalobos has a chance to cap it off in the middle rounds. Round winding down. Lewis at this point trying to be saved by the bell. One last effort. But Villalobos dominating over the second half of that round.
Wow, you know what? He came out. He was one punch away from duplicating it, and here it is. Sometimes you see the fighters able to close it when they put on the swarm, and that's with all the punches being accurate. The last swarm he put together, a couple just did miss. Referee looking for one more, he might have stopped it there. And as a result, Lewis is able to stay there, but what a torrent of punches by Villalobos, and one of the league's most exciting heavyweights now.
Round 16 by unanimous decision from Phoenix, Manuel Villalobos.
1 point seems like a discount. So Phoenix is running it up. Well, where can you watch TBL and all the good moments like this? Let's go to my buddy Justin Shackle to fill you in on where you can watch TBL.
It's great to have you with us for Team Boxing League action today. And here's how you can tell other fans where to catch Team Boxing League events. There are a number of places that we can be seen. You can watch us on MSG Networks, the Gotham Sports app, and Spectrum Sportsnet, as well as on our home network, Envoy Fast. Plus, the full season of Encores are on Envoy TV every day. Download the Envoy app. Connected TV users with Samsung, Apple TV, Amazon Fire, Roku, and LG devices can download the TBL app, watch both live action and play previous matches on demand. TBL is also seen on YouTube, the TBL app, and in Spanish on the Estrella Network.
Nothing flashy, no extra points, but the Phoenix Fury in full control, commanding this event in Atlanta between the Fury and the Houston Hitmen, up big 14-2 as we welcome you back inside. Justin and Dave with you. So Phoenix wins 7 of the first 8 rounds of the launch phase. Middle round, same story. They win 7 of the 8 rounds there, barring a dramatic comeback here, which would truly be unbelievable at this point in the money rounds. They've joined what we've seen here this weekend in Week 11. How could this type of performance serve them well moving forward?
I think, Justin, it's one of these things where you build the confidence because you don't get the knockouts, and so every one of your fighters is winning, and you're showing different ways to win. The knockouts are bonus points. You want to get them in the playoffs, but if you can't, you need individual victories, and this is a team-building thing. They've done very well together.
So the money round's coming up, and before this event, we're trying to figure out on paper what looked really compelling from a strategic standpoint. We thought, hey, maybe in round 24 it could be action-packed, but Phoenix is in such a large lead, and we're going to see why here as we look back at some of the action from the middle rounds. Round 13, Mendez, Yisrael picks up another sweep here.
Yeah, and this is him coming off the losing streak. He came out really strong, motivated, good pressing the pace. He started early and withstood a mid-round assault, so he comes up with a double. Great to take that forward. And then this guy is becoming must-see in the heavyweight division. Villalobos, you know, he had the knockout last week, and though he almost got one here, didn't get it, but what offense he showed. Good power, and this is a guy that's making his mark. We're going to be watching him the rest of the year.
Yeah, it was an electric second half of that round. We're going to see Villalobos in the 23rd round again. But in round 24, look, there have only been 2 victorious Houston fighters. One of them is Julia Gallegos in her TBL debut, and the 19-year-old was trusted to go into the 24th round against Tierra Brandt. So it's Brandt and Gallegos in that 24th round, a good round to watch.
Yeah, and for a lot of reasons. It's character building, even if the team match that night is not at stake. You're trying to show your young fighters, I'm putting you in round 24. Someday we're going to need you in round 24. Get used to it now. It's something that's very important in case they are needed down the road. So this is a strategic coaching decision.
All right, let's get the money round started, and let's go back inside with Ray Flores.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is now time to begin the money rounds between the Houston Hitmen and Phoenix Fury. At light heavyweight, Houston, Darren Isom. Phoenix, Nico Santana.
Rico Santana picking up a victory over Darren Isom. And remember, at the end of that round, the referee sort of warned Santana after the round was over, watch the holding. So will that be a situation that we have to keep an eye on here in the 17th round?
He also got away with some rubbing with the glove in the face, away from the eyes of the referee. So Santana has been on a roll. This fight, first round tonight, he looked a little more vulnerable to be beaten than in some other ones, but he did pull out. Now, if you're going against him, you're saying, Isom, you know what? I had my moments, and maybe I can simply adjust and be busier.
Santana landed a quality right hand on Isom moments into this round. But, yep, they've more the same from the prior round.
What you're seeing here with Santana, he is a bull. He rushes forward, but not to the point where you can easily pick him off. He's seasoned for that. You see some head movement here, working beautifully to get inside.
Got inside, got the right hand in.
Yep, that's what the veteran does.
If you're Sonny Gutierrez, you want to see more of that.
And on the other side, you need to do something when he's making those moves. And so far, it has been difficult for Isom to discourage the straight-ahead forward motion by Santana.
Big reach from Darren Isom for a light heavyweight.
And with Santana coming straight at him, he could gamble now and throw that uppercut. Now Santana is walking into the path of it. And
no, but he's weaving through, and again, a right hand connects for Raiko Santana.
We did see the uppercut that was there for Isom, but Santana ate it and then threw a good right hand. And it's difficult when you execute something that is perfect right in front of you and you do it right and it doesn't accomplish the effect for you.
Here's a right hand, wreaking havoc from Raiko. That's the standout punch of the 17th round. There's some recklessness in the throws from Isom. But that was a more controlled round for Raiko Santana.
Went straight at him, did the bob and weave, he scored, took the best that came back at him, and unfazed by it. This was a little bit more of the Santana from last year and earlier this year. Here's that bob and weave I talked about, then the right hand gets in. Good movement, got him closer. Couple ways to get inside. You can do the jab or you can do what he did here, and that worked out well.
TBL fans, the winner of round 17 by way of split decision from Houston, Darren Isom.
And all that said, all the good work, it went to Isom, who scored with some uppercuts.
Round 18 at lightweight, Houston, Manuela Sangruni. Phoenix, James Pierce.
So Houston wins the first of the money rounds. And now Manuel Sangroni and James Pierce will go at it. Sangroni lost to Joaquin Camberos. James Pierce was in action way back in round 3. Picked off Jaden Alpo, who we're going to see in a couple of rounds.
And this is more of what we expected to see from Sangroni. Straight ahead, right in your face. Out-punch me on the inside if you can.
Pierce looking busy in the first 30 seconds, going up against the 4 and 5 Sangroni here. Now Sangroni fighting back from the inside.
Now you look at Sangroni and you can think, well, you know, on top of this straight ahead movement, could he incorporate more lateral movement? Can he incorporate a little more classic boxing? If you do too much of that, it takes away your own aggressiveness. Some fighters are simply meant to work a certain style, and that looks to be what has been working for Sangroni.
That early aggression feels like it may have rocked Sangroni kind of out of rhythm here. There's blood coming down from the nose of Sangroni as well.
You do this kind of style, it's a dice roll every time stylistically, because now you're not making your opponent jab his way in. You're not making him look for the angles. It's all who gets in and who has more. Type of fight the fans love to see and the coaches hate. The jab optionals.
Pierce coming through with that left hand. Not a knockdown as Sangroni slipped. Maybe it's just me, Dave. Sangroni looks winded.
Well, second fight. You know, we
Comes through with a clean left hand.
Bring this up on a lot of the broadcasts because it's not something that people talk a lot about, but the second time you fight, we often see in the last minute somebody having a stamina problem.
And Sangroni's walking into a combo there from Pierce moments ago, tried to fight back with one of his own. And he just ate a straight right hand from James Pierce, his 34-year-old southpaw.
So you could have put a sliver down the center of this ring and they would have stayed on it the whole fight. And it's great if you're watching it, great if you're there, and the trainers say you could have made it easier on yourself.
James Pierce wiping Sangroni's blood off his shoulder.
Here it was, straight ahead. Excellent action. The offense is there. The connection percentages are high. Sangroni and Pierce load up and score. So now it's the judges, just a matter of deciding who got more.
TBL fans, the winner of round 18 by way of split decision from the Houston Hitman, Manuel Sangroni. Round 19 at cruiserweight, Houston David Stevens, Phoenix Charles Pugh.
All right, so Pugh won a split when they fought not long ago.
Pugh taking round 15. Here they are, back in action in round 19.
We see different versions of the two-round philosophy tonight. Like here we are, 15 and 19 with these guys, and the women who started us round 1 and round 24. They have a couple hours to think about what they're going to do the next time, and these guys simply turn around, maintain their physical high, and then go back in.
What would you rather have?
I would rather have myself about 25 minutes. I mean, and I know it's individual choice. If I won. If I lost, come on, when can I get back into it? But I think 25 is ideal to reset and give yourself a little bit of a rest, warm down period. But you don't want to think about it for the next hour and a half because you can drift off. So my personal philosophy would be that, and it varies.
Phoenix with a 14-4 lead in the overall score, trying to pick up a second straight win and improve to 3-2. Good right hand smearing across the face of David Stevens from Charles Pugh. Going for his second straight win tonight.
You know, in an 8-event season for these teams, 1 minute you're 1-2, and the thought is they really have to get a win. And then it's 3-2. They're one of the best teams in the league. Look out for them. So each event is 12.5% of your season. So you put a couple together, and you know, you can shoot up in the standings, which Phoenix is doing.
Yeah, low blow followed a rabbit punch. Or the other way around, rabbit punch followed the low blow over that sequence there between Pugh and Stevens. And a good left hand coming through from Charles Pugh. Houston has won the first 2 rounds here in the money round. Oh, left hand waiting for Charles Pugh from David Stevens. Leaned in too far after throwing that punch.
Special delivery. And, you know, Pugh would theoretically be happy about how this fight is being waged because he loves the straight ahead action, and he's being obliged here. But he's being beaten downstairs to the punch with these left hooks.
There's a right hand from Pugh. knocking Stevens off balance. And again,
Stevens turned his head. Pugh tried to capitalize.
I was going to say, can't fault Pugh for that throw when you're turning your back to him.
So there was some good action at the end for Pugh. And so let's see what happened before that, the low blow. And that's when you're looking for positioning and your body's off. And this is where Pugh was off balance and got nailed, but then said, that didn't get me much. This is some of Pugh's better collection here. And toward the end, as you say, when your opponent turns his head, you have to keep going. He didn't throw to the back of the head. He did try to score in the front.
Fans, the winner of round 19 by way of unanimous decision from the Houston Hitmen, David Stevens. Round 20 at lightweight. Houston, Jaden Alpo. Phoenix, Joaquin Camberos.
So Houston trying to make it interesting here. He's taken the first 3 rounds. David Stevens awarded that round over Charles Pugh. And here's Alpo and Joaquin Camberos. And Camberos for Phoenix put a domination on Manuel Sangroni, using that tall length, that height. And here he gets in his licks early on against Alpo.
And that was an excellent performance by him early on against one of Houston's better fighters from time to time.
Joaquin Camberos, 19 years of age, out of Tucson. He's of Mexican heritage, nicknamed El Jr. Wonder when the growth spurt happened.
When do you become El Senior?
8-0 with 6 KOs in traditional boxing. And he went to his family's homeland for his first 6 fights. They took place in Mexico.
Pretty schooled fighter and some street toughness that you can sense in him as well. That last right hand coming from in close, good instinct.
Showing close range ability. He gets caught there with that left hook from Alpo. They fight shoulder to shoulder.
As Camberos was willing to do that so he could score with the uppercut, but Alpo just walked through it and is happy to set up camp inside. Theoretically, Camberos would like to stay on the outside, make it easier for himself. Alpo wants to be right where he is here.
Under a minute to go in this 20th round. This has been a much closer, more competitive round that Camberos has experienced. He was all over Sangroni, and here he's had a lot of moments against Jaden Alpo, who's hanging tough in with the 19-year-old out of Tucson.
Yeah, Alpo has made good use of the opportunities he has gotten inside. Camberos willing to trade with him here, and he gets nailed with a good right hand.
Comes back with a right hand of his own. Camberos' throw rate certainly outpointing Alpo, but Alpo's picked his shots in the right spots in this round. That's a pretty close round.
It is. Camberos on the outside. Alpo has been sharp on the inside, so judges will measure how effective they think the sharpness of Alpo on the inside means. second half of this fight was good for Alpo, but there were some moments in the beginning where Camberos was utilizing the height and reach. Had he done that all the way through, it would have been an easier verdict for him, but he let Alpo in, and Alpo did some good work inside.
The winner of round 20 by way of unanimous decision. From Phoenix, Joaquin Camberos.
Look, that win by Camberos gives him 2-round victories here tonight. The 19-year-old puts Phoenix back ahead by 10, 15-5. Fury in front. We'll be back after this. Phoenix's lead has climbed back up to 10, 15-5. They're in front. Let's get ready for round 21 with Ray Flores.
Round 21 and heavyweight. Houston, Carlos Frometa. Phoenix, Cesar Navarro.
Get going with round 21. Two heavyweights in Navarro and Frometa. They went at it in a split decision in round number 8. Navarro winning it. Pretty compelling.
And Frometa coming out trying to get something big for Houston. They need a 4-point event, a knockout, to get into hailing range, and much easier said than done, but at least he has come out with that intent in the first 40 seconds here.
Overall, Phoenix in full control on this night. Let's hear from one of their coaches. Sonny Gutierrez is standing by with Amelia.
Coach Sonny, you guys are right now in 5th. You're going to be moving after this fight, you know, if you guys secure the win tonight, moving up the rankings. And I had told people how disruptive the Phoenix Fury can be. You know, coming into this, you guys made some adjustments. What is going on with the team right now?
You know, the team knows that they have to. They know they have to pick it up going into the playoffs. So that's what they're doing. They're doing their homework. They're training hard, and they know to finish strong. You know, so.
Not trying to distract you. I know Cesar Navarro's in there. Where did you find this guy?
He's out of Arizona as well. He's a cruiserweight, but he filled in for heavyweight.
And you guys always seem to be digging up new talent. Thank you so much. I don't want to bother you. He's very much locked into this round. Justin, back to you.
All right, thanks, Amelia. Navarro fighting above his weight and doing a pretty good job.
He has been. Yep, the good action we're seeing from both fighters here, as the heavyweights have shown both some pretty good speed and some power.
Navarro, a 6'3" native out of Sonora, Mexico. These two fighters, both 6 feet 3 inches tall, big boys.
And both doing some good work with the jab here to go with their heavyweight power. And Navarro was able to use that to settle down the aggression of Fermetta, who came out trying for a 4-point win early on in this.
Well, over these final moments, we're seeing a lot of what we saw in round 8 between these two. This was a tamer round between Navarro and Fermetta.
Yeah, after the jab stopped the advance of Fermetta, it became more of a tactical battle. And so credit Navarro for doing that and keeping this as a 1-point verdict either way.
TBL fans, the winner of round 21 by way of unanimous decision. From the Houston Hitman, Carlos Fermetta. Round 22 at welterweight, Houston, Elijah Williams. Phoenix, Demarius Watson.
Well, we heard Demarius Watson earlier with Amelia talking about maturity, and she praised him for listening to his corner, and he was saying, to be honest with you, I didn't hear too much of that.
Well,
so it shows pretty good ring IQ for this youngster.
Yeah, maybe they coached him beforehand and he zoned it out, but yes, some pretty good IQ, and he had a good outing. He's actually had a good start to his TBL journey.
And he could put this event to bed. Take a look at the score. It's 15-6, Phoenix in front. Over these last 3 rounds, Houston would mathematically need 3 stoppages.
In a night when we've had none.
Can the 20-year-old close out the team score? Now 3-0 in TBL action.
And you're the coach, you're looking forward for the team. You want to know that there are a couple different ways that you can gain victories. You always want the power to come into play, but you also want to see that your team has the capability for a night like this, when there are no power outage, there are no power situations, but your team wins with good boxing.
Watson going to work at close range. Now they go back to the center. 1 minute to go in the 22nd round. Villalobos and Lewis coming up in the 23rd round. Then it's Tierra Brandt and Julie Gallegos closing it out. Some good work here along the ropes from Demarius Watson. Another winding right hand from Watson. Here's a good 3-punch combo. Williams trying to battle back.
Some more good ring maturity here by Watson being shown. Staying on the outside and not pouring with his punches.
A good showing for Demarius Watson, the 20-year-old out of Phoenix. Won both of his rounds in his debut a few weeks ago, and he could be on the verge of winning both of his rounds here tonight.
decision. From the Phoenix Fury, Demarius Woodson. Our penultimate money run will be at super middleweight, Houston, Devin Thorne. Phoenix, Sebastian Salomon Duran.
So round 23 is going to feature two 168-pounders. Villalobos and Lewis originally scheduled for another round, but we saw the damage that Lewis took, that he received from Villalobos, so it seems like that's a reason why they're not going to be fighting a second round. In comes Devin Thorne and Sebastian Duran, who put on a really good showing, an entertaining round in the 7th.
They really did. Back and forth, they went the whole way, as we expected by the styles that they have exhibited throughout the season. And Duran coming up with that win. We try to move things along here when the fighters are in the swing rounds. And hey, you're up.
Duran in the maroon, Thorne in the white. And Phoenix has wrapped up the head-to-head win over Houston here. But if you are Devin Thorne, if you're Julie Gallegos coming up, you obviously want to pick up a win.
Yeah, you've waited, maybe an hour if you're Thorne. You want to get back at Navarro. It was close the first time. Let's go at Duran here and see if he can get a split.
Duran being more measured over these first 45 seconds than he was in the 7th round.
Now, we've seen him unload. We've seen him get stoppages. A lot of times, the style of the fight has to cooperate with those intentions.
There's a left hand that sneaks upstairs from Duran. Took the elevator up, Dave.
Now it does cooperate a little bit with fighter in front of him, stopping for a second. They were both jabbing, taking their turns, looking for the comfort zone for that for pretty much the first minute. Now it has opened up a little bit more.
Duran favored those uppercuts in the 7th round.
And these are sneaky and well placed because they're behind the jab, following the jab instantaneously.
Left hand whacking Thorne, and he comes back with a righty counter.
Well, Duran is shooting for it with these uppercuts and with the big right hands, and it opens up possibilities on both sides. Now, we've seen Thorne have some big moments on our highlights and dropping opponents. We saw that in the San Antonio matchup. Here his opponent has been just a little more elusive. Highlights from that last round as Thorne tries to get in. And Duran with that uppercut. It was blocked, but he's been sneaky with that. 8-1 as he tried to set up the next big shot. So it was gritty with these fighters on the inside.
Team Boxing League fans, the winner of round 23 by way of split decision from the Houston Hitmen, Devin Thorne.
Well, Thorne picks up a close split decision.
Our final money round will be in the featherweight division. Houston, Julia Gallegos. Phoenix, Tierra Brandt.
And something to perhaps keep in mind here moving forward, Duran suffered a pretty nasty cut at the near end of that round, right above his left eye. You saw the blood. Got to keep that in mind to see if he is in the lineup the next time out.
And that's the type of thing that can keep you out, as the coaches may want to keep you there in line for the playoffs. Cut or a headbutt injury is one of the most devastating things that happen in a fighter's journey.
Well, this was our round to watch, round 24, the final between Tierra Brandt and Julie Gallegos. The thought was, wow, look how much faith Houston is putting in to a 19-year-old making her TBL debut tonight in Gallegos. It'd be a pretty meaningful moment for her as she lets her hands loose on Tierra Brandt, but this one's all wrapped up as Phoenix is comfortably ahead 16-7.
Yeah, and that is the scoreboard angle, and then there is the coaching angle, if the scoreboard angle is eliminated, of trying to build up these fighters, their confidence and their seasoning in case they are needed in round 24 in the future. You come out of round 24, regardless of the score, and you get a win for your team, that is a huge emotional lift going forward anytime.
Gallegos way busier in the first minute. And there's that jab. And then she addresses the body coming off that jab. A right hand and a left both connect from Julie Gallegos. Hey, maybe we're starting to see what Brian Caldwell saw in Julie Gallegos.
Yes, well, you know, the first time we saw Brandt doing a lot of things from different angles. And what Gallegos is doing here, trying to, is take away that comfort. Do not let her move and punch when she wants to. Punch when you want to and force her to your pace. And Gallegos has made some good adjustments, and look how quickly she gets on top of Brandt here to try and set up the next phase. And as a result, you know, we're not seeing Tierra Brandt moving to the same level as the first time.
And we're seeing good defense from Gallegos as well. And just as I say that, she eats a big right hand from Tierra Brandt. And now this is the best stretch of the round for Brandt.
Yeah, as she shot up and pretty much adjusted mid-round, showing a veteran move, knowing that she was not happy with how stylistically this was playing out. So in the first matchup, Gallegos was fighting Brandt's fight, and for a stretch that we were talking about, Brandt was fighting Gallegos' fight until she tried to take that away.
Well, you could toss the score right out of the window. Last round, they are laying it all out. Julie Gallegos and Tierra Brandt, they have made this a compelling final 3 minutes in Atlanta.
They opened the show earlier, come on and finish with gangbusters here.
Good scrap to close it out. The 24th round ends with some excitement between these two women, and this will be a tough one to score.
Yeah, and if you're Gallegos, you know, you did everything you could because you changed the tenor of the style by doing this. Being on the inside, coming in straight, and fighting the style that you need to win. Regardless of whether she gets that, she gets credit for making the adjustment stylistically to give herself the best chance.
Benz, the winner of round 24 by way of unanimous decision. From Houston, Julia Gallegos.
Good for her.
So Julie Gallegos wins her first 2 rounds in Team Boxing League, but the Phoenix Fury, they padded this one up and are victorious on the road. They pick up a 16-8 victory over Houston. We'll be back with Fight Honors and to wrap it up after this. Team Boxing League is brought to you by Balance of Nature. In boxing, consistency beats intensity. Balance of Nature supplements help you stay consistent with ingredients of whole foods you can easily slot into your daily routine. Go to balanceofnature.com, use code TEAM, and start today. Time now for our star of the fight, brought to you by Balance of Nature. We turn our attention to round 16, Dave. Manuel Villalobos only got it for 3 minutes tonight. He made the most of it.
Yeah, almost a knockout. He did everything but put his opponent away. This would have been his second straight knockout. He came one connection away from getting the call. He tried everything to get this finished. And this has become one of the most exciting heavyweights in the league right now.
So Villalobos picks up the win. Phoenix wins it 16-8. Let's go back inside Shrine Center with Ray Flores.
Ladies and gentlemen, from the Shriners here in Atlanta, Georgia, your final score, the Phoenix Fury 16, the Houston Hitman 8. Here are your 3 stars of the fight. Your number 3 star, Houston featherweight, Julia Gallegos. Number 2 star, Phoenix lightweight, Joaquin Camberos. Balance of Nature, number 1 star, Phoenix welterweight, Judah Israel. Round of the night, number 8, Carlos Frometa and Cesar Navarro.
Coach Sonny, I don't know how you do it, but somehow you always dig up some really fantastic talent. Tell us your secrets.
Well, the fighters are, they know what they're getting into going into the playoffs. They got to go hard, and they've been doing that. So.
And also, how they listened to you. It was something that I took away when we the first rounds, launch rounds, the team looked so composed, incredibly locked in, and they were listening to you and your other cornerman Goose. It was like push button. I said something with Demo, and he was like, no, I didn't even hear it, but you guys were syncing, and it wasn't just him. It was like the entire launch round was fantastic.
Oh yeah, we go over a game plan going into the fight, and they stick to it, so.
I could see it executed. Yeah. Excellent work, Coach.
Thank you.
Ma'am, welcome. Come step into the light. Your TBL debut tonight.
Yes.
Welcome to Team Boxing League. Fantastic performance tonight. 2 different opponents. I have to just give you so much credit. You had first round of the night. You closed the show out, round 24. And what a show you just put on for us.
Thank you so much. You know, I love to fight, and that's exactly what I did tonight, and it worked. So I'm just doing what I love. I want to thank everybody who supported me, my family out in Las Vegas. I love you so much. Thank you to all my family and friends who were able to get me here tonight.
And I just have to comment on it was like intentional aggression, but every single punch was intentional, and I could see it. I mean, you were locked in there. Was that the mentality tonight? You were just locked in, or is this, just you as a fighter? Is this what we're gonna see going forward?
For sure, that's me. I love a good dogfight. That's what I like, and so coming into TBL, I knew that's what I was, gonna have to face, and I'm fine with that because I'm good at it. So, yeah, thank you so much.
Thank you for putting on a wonderful show tonight, ma'am. Joaquin, next in line. Again, same as, tonight you had such dynamic. You had 2 top opponents. Each round, it was like, where does your gas tank come from?
Mexican, that's why.
But truly, though, dynamic to be able to go in there with Sangroni. It was he loved it. It was a dogfight. He started bleeding, and it was like it seemed to egg him on, and you didn't care. And then you went in there again, and it was just like, a different opponent, and you just kept it. Yet your mind was so clear. I could see it. It was with the gas tank, aggression, but you were dynamic.
Yeah, of course. That's what I'm practicing here in the team boxing league. I could have easily boxed both of my opponents out, but I like brawling. I like that type of fighting style. I'm Mexican again, so it's in my blood. So.
Excellent work tonight. Congratulations on being an amazing star. Judah. Judah, I'm sitting next to Goose and Sonny on that side of the ring, And I heard Goose say, man, he looks good tonight. And I have to agree. What is clicking for you? Because I'm seeing you from LA to now, and it's just like I'm seeing you progressively get better.
Well, what Coach said, we're not here to blend in, we're here to stand out. I'm from Phoenix Fury, we're here to fight. We just came to fight. That's what I'm here to do.
Talk to us about the finals as you guys are moving towards the playoffs.
Oh, this was my dream. I told y'all, ever since I won my first fight, that I was coming to make the playoffs with the Phoenix Fury, and that's what I came to do.
Love it. So what do you think the Phoenix is going to do in the playoffs?
Huh?
What do you think the Phoenix Fury is going to do in the playoffs?
Oh, yeah, we winning that Mega Bowl. That's what I'm coming for. We winning that Mega Bowl. I'm coming for that Mega Bowl. I'm coming for it all.
Prediction's been made. Thank you so much, Judah. Congratulations. Great work tonight. Justin, Dave?
Well, some young fighters in their early 20s pulling the rope here for Phoenix. But as we take a look at the money round highlights, a couple of bright spots for the Houston Hitmen on this night here in round 17. Raiko Santana, Darren Isom. Isom comes away with a victory.
Yes, good, positive forward movement, getting inside on Santana here. And this was one where it looked like Santana was doing a lot of great work, but it did not go that way on the score sheet. You saw his reaction to it.
And then in round 24, again, the head-to-head score all wrapped up, but don't tell these two women that. Julie Gallegos, 19 years old, making her TBL debut. She and Tierra Brandt put on a show.
Yeah, really impressed with what we saw. Both fighters, and for Gallegos to come in here and to come up with a #3 star in her debut. And I love the adjustment she made between one fight and the next to make the second fight take place more inside and take away the comfort zone of her opponent.
So Phoenix wins its second in a row. They improve to 3-2, and at the moment in 5th place in Team Boxing League. The top 8 teams qualified, or they will qualify for a postseason berth. So as Houston falls to 1-4-1, we focus here on Phoenix. Look, nothing fancy, no extra points recorded tonight, but you are starting to see a team with a lot of young talent from that Phoenix area, the Valley, the desert. It's coming together in the midpoint of the regular season.
Yeah, and this is the type of victory, Justin, they like to have, because it was all power when they took care of LA inside that big